Guys, welcome to Project 2025. The Trump presidency wish list is about to be explained. So, if you guys don't know about Project 2025, it's been scaring a lot of people and a lot of older people who think this is Trump turning America into his home, his backyard. He wants complete control of the country and he is about to create a dictatorship. Now, a lot of people may think this is false, this isn't true, but this is actually a thing. And I'm going to go over this Project 2025. And this is all starting to kind of go together with the movie Civil War that recently came out and how another American revolution is about to happen. Guys, they are saying this Project 2025 is another American revolution. They are saying that this is about to be the big change in America. So many people are petrified and scared because they think this is the ultimate takeover, and President Trump and the right wing Republicans are about to take over America by force, by implementing laws and taking over democracy positions in government with appointed people that are not elected by the people. And once you get people that are no longer elected and appointed by the president, they're basically people that he can control and who always have his back and will make sure that he can pass any law he wants. Over time, after a couple years, so many people will fear the president till it becomes a dictatorship and he can now do what he wants. So we're about to go into detail and we're going to talk about this Project 2025, guys. And as I said before, this is something major. It's been getting a lot of hype and a lot of talked about. It's been something that's been well known way before now. But now that the presidential election is coming up and it's looking like Donald Trump will be elected president again over Joe Biden because Joe Biden has so many issues and Democrats have nobody else that they can produce right now on this short notice outside of Joe Biden. Yes, they could probably make him step down and let Kamala Harris run, but she's one of the worst vice presidents in history and the people don't care for her. And I'm not saying she's one of the worst because of policies or anything she's done. She just hasn't been very vocal and hasn't been the vice president that you expect. The past two vice presidents, her and Mike Pence, were terrible vice presidents. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Joe Biden was actually a pretty decent vice president, but a sucky president. But we're about to move on from that. And we're about to talk about Project 2025, the Trump presidency wish list explained. So first off, guys, the picture of Donald Trump, Make America Great Again. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this. So President Joe Biden and the Democrats are mobilizing against a possible governing agenda for Donald Trump if he is elected in November. The blueprint, called Project 2025 and produced by the Conservative Heritage Foundation, is one of several think tank proposals for Trump's platform. Now, guys, Trump is proposing all these different things, and this right here, if this goes through, it gives him almost absolute power as president. Now, I believe the Democrats are trying to fight back, but in a not so good way, because what they're doing is not right, because they're trying to jail him and do this and do that. I feel like a lot of things Trump did are true, and he does deserve to pay the price for it. But I think a lot of things that are happening right now is a political targeting a political opponent by trying to jail them or kill them or anything like that. That happens in politics. It happens very often. You guys just don't know about it a lot of times, but it does happen very often. I feel like right now that is what's going on. They're trying to attack Trump before his presidency, before him winning the election, and him changing all the laws and arresting a lots of Democrats. There are people right now that are scared that they're going to be arrested when Trump becomes president because they were Democrats and they voted Democrats in the past however many elections. And there are Republicans right now that are loving this because they feel like they're going to have a country where it's completely right-wing agenda, what they want. But guys, whenever you have a dictator or democracy goes away and there is no strain on the leader of the country and they can do as they will, that person becomes an enemy of the people at some point. Everything that you liked him for goes out the door because now he's doing things that you never knew about, but other government officials wouldn't allow the president to do. Now they have that power to just do what they want. And there's going to be some laws, policies that the people don't like. Now, this guy Trump already had said plenty of times that anybody that spoke out against the government or the president should be executed. And that's something he said. That's crazy when you think about it, but he said that out of his own mouth. Okay, so let's get back into this. Over more than 900 pages, it calls for a sacking of 1,000 civil servants, expanding the power of the president, dismantling the Department of Education and other federal agencies, and sweeping tax cuts. So they're trying to get rid of the Department of Education and civil servants. That is the people that you guys and myself elected in office. And now they're trying to get rid of those people because they want to appoint people that can be controlled. Okay. The Heritage Foundation unveiled its agenda in April of last year, and a liberal opposition ramped up as former President Trump has taken a lead in polls after President Biden's poor debate performance. On Wednesday, Heritage President Kevin Roberts raised the prospect of a political violence during a podcast interview. Now, this guy was talking about if things don't go the way they want and the Democrats try to fight back, it will turn bloody. That means he's saying pretty much we will have a civil war in this country. And how the country trending in the political aspect of the country, there probably would be a civil war. If Trump doesn't win, there's going to be a civil war. If Trump wins and the Democrats try to fight any of these agendas that he's trying to propose, there will be a civil war. Politicians will start getting jailed. America will turn into the Soviet Union when Joseph Stalin was going through having his purge on political opponents. Now, this is something that Trump has been talking about for a very long time, and not just in recent times, as far as purges on political opponents. He would not have any problem doing this. Okay. And Kevin Roberts saying this kind of puts the nail in the coffin. We're in the process of the Second American Revolution, which will remain bloodless if the left allows it to be. Wow. Mr. Roberts told the War Room podcast, founded by Trump advisor Steve Bannon. So this guy literally just said it out of his own mouth, exactly what it will be, only if the left allows it to be. That means if they try to fight back, that things will get ugly. America will go through a bloody civil war in the near future. We can already see the country is spiraling downwards. We went from being the number one country, top of the world, military, economy, everything, which right now we still are, but our political influence has tanked because of all the issues going on within the country. There's a group of powerful people that are coming up with this idea for the Civil War. That's why that movie came out. It's giving us a hint. These leaders and these elite people of the world always give us hints before things happen. America is dying from the inside. That's the only way our country can go down. And that's how most superpowers go down, because they have issues within the country. Think about it. Okay. The remarks prompted pushback from Biden campaign, which accused Trump and his allies of dreaming of a violent revolution to destroy the very idea of America. The comments have renewed attention on the Project 2025 document. It is common for Washington, D.C. to think tanks to propose policy wish lists for potential governments in waiting. The Liberal Center of American Progress, for example, was dubbed Barack Obama's ideas factory during presidency. But Democrats have taken aim at the Heritage paper, seeking to get campaign value out of some of its more drastic measures. Last month, Congressman Jared Huffman of California announced to stop Project 2025 task force. Mr. Huffman said, Project 2025 is more than an idea. It's a dystopian plot that's already in motion to dismantle our democratic institution, abolish checks and balances, chip away at the church-state separation, and impose a far-right agenda that infringes on basic liberties and violates public will. We need to coordinate a strategy to save America and stop this coup before it's too late. This guy said, stop this coup. He's on to something. He knows what's about to happen. He knows. He's not fool. He's not dumb. These people know the things. Our government knows things before we know. Intelligence, all types of things. You got to think there's always a sellout in any party. There's always a sellout. There's always somebody that's working for the other side. There's always somebody that's giving out information. So these guys aren't just shooting out this stuff. The president knows. President Biden, his team of advisors and high-ranking politicians know exactly what's going on. They know there's a group of powerful elite people that are scheming and helping promote this civil war between the Republicans and the Democrats, because they know once this country falls apart, that they're going to benefit greatly from it. And there are outside countries like China and Russia that are influencing this, because a civil war in America, I mean, one of those two becomes the powerhouse of the world, more than likely China. Because once our economy crashes from a war, destroyed, and we have to rebuild, guess who that leaves in charge? China. And right behind that, Russia. And it makes it easier for an invasion of America, because we are so broken down that it wouldn't be much of a fight. We couldn't really defend ourselves. Think about it. Heritage has previously said Mr. Biden's party was scaremongering with an unserious, mistake-riddled press release. House Democrats are dedicating taxpayer dollars to launch a smear campaign against the united effort to restore self-governance to everyday Americans, said Mr. Robertson in early June statement. Under the Biden administration, the federal government has been weaponized against American citizens, our borders invaded, and our intuitions captured by woke ideology. Project 2025 document outlines 4 main aims. Okay, these are the 4 main things they're focused on. Restore the family as the centerpiece of American life. Nothing wrong with that. I can agree with that. Dismantle the administrative state. See, that's trying to get rid of things like the FBI, Department of Education, anything that can challenge the president in the Civil War, challenges the president, period. Absolute power is what they are looking for. Defend the nation's sovereignty and borders, and secure God-given individual rights to live freely. It is one of several policy papers for a platform broadly known as Agenda 47, so-called because the Trump would be America's 47th president if he won. Heritage says Project 2025 was written by several former Trump appointees and reflects input from more than 100 conservative organizations. Here's an outline of several key proposals. Now, guys, if this doesn't work out for Trump, he may get arrested by the military and executed. I'm just being honest. That could possibly happen. So everything he's trying to do, any president that would try to overturn anything within the American government that's not supporting democracy or trying to give the president too much power, that's never been a thing. It's the reason George Washington did not want to be the king of America. He wanted to have a democracy where there were checks and balances, because eventually one person with too much power can destroy a country and forces bad policies on the people with no possibility of change. Changing presidents every 4 years or every 8 years helps in a lot of ways. It also hurts in ways, but it helps because you're not stuck if you have a bad president getting bad policies continuously over and over. Imagine having a bad dictator and everybody's scared to tell them to change this or change that. President, you can vote them out, get somebody else in there, they can fix it. Just kind of like working in the industry, guys. Imagine being a store manager at a restaurant. If you don't do things right, you don't make your numbers, you're not treating your people right, you get fired and they replace you with somebody else that can do it. Now, if you're invincible and you can't get fired and you're the owner of that store and you're running your store and the store is doing terrible and you are the owner, nothing changes. So you just keep going downward spiral until you the point of no return. All right. So Project 2025 proposes, this is the government, that the entire federal bureaucracy, including independent agencies such as the Department of Justice, be replaced with under direct presidential control, a controversial idea known as unitary executive theory. So he's basically trying to have the president in full control of these independent agencies that work and do things outside of the president's knowledge or don't have to answer to the president, giving the president more power if they do get this. And a practice that would streamline decision making, allowing the president to directly implement policies in a number of areas. The proposal also calls for eliminating job protections for thousands of government employees who could then be replaced by political appointees. That's something we need to pay attention to. This line here is very, very important, because that is going to be what makes or breaks our country. It would be terrible for people to lose their jobs that were elected and appointed by a president, because now you're putting your friends in place to now you can fulfill your agenda of becoming a dictator. This is going to determine whether he can become a dictator or not. That will be everything. Document labels the FBI a bloated, arrogant, increasingly lawless organization and calls for drastic overhauls of this and other federal agencies, including eliminating the Department of Education. Why the Department of Education called it straight, I don't know. There's probably more to it. The FBI, yes, the FBI is a little iffy at times, but the reason the FBI is targeted as a lawless organization because that's the one agency president doesn't have any control over, and it would be very hard for somebody that can, pull off a military coup or even pull off, taking over the country as a dictator without getting rid of the FBI. They have a lot of agency. It's basically like another military within the country. The CIA is another one. The CIA will probably be a target depending on how the CIA functions. I'm not exactly sure. But these are things that are being targeted by Trump and his people, appointing people, taking over agencies that he does not control. You still have the immigration thing. That's something that everybody knows about. Climate, abortion, tech, and education. Guys, so the Heritage Foundation is one of the most influential of a number of think tanks that has produced policy papers designated to guide a possible second Trump presidency. Since the 1980s, the Heritage has produced similar policy documents as part of its Mandate for Leadership series. Project 2025, backed a $22 million budget, also sets out strategies for implementing policies beginning immediately after the presidential inauguration in January of 2025. Trump has endorsed a number of the Project 2025 ideas in his speeches and on his website, although his campaign has said the candidate has the final say-so on the policy. Many of the proposals would face immediate legal challenges if implemented. Now, my thing is, why are we doing this? Why is this happening? We are on the verge of an American Civil War. We're on the verge of a collapse of America. We are about to see political people that were not elected put in positions where we are normally voting for. And those lower level politicians, state level, city, state, those are the ones that really give the president power. So once they're under the control of the president and appointed by the president, Supreme Court already is super right wing. You lose control of the country. Everything that we thought about in the country has been built on for years falls apart. Now, I'm not saying that Trump doesn't deserve to become president, but if this is going to happen, I can tell you guys now, America will not be the same place. He is going to push for these goals. There's a group of powerful people out there that are pushing him to do this because they want to see the fall of America. There's a group of powerful people that are in the Democrats' ear pushing for them to fight back and cause a civil war if this tries to happen. Our country will be divided. The world will change. People need to start waking up. Because at the end of the day, the people in America, the everyday people, will suffer the most. Inflation will skyrocket. Everything will skyrocket. Think about your kids, your young ones. Imagine trying to defend your home. Imagine not being scared to say whether you're a Republican or a Democrat because you don't know which one's banging at your door willing to kill you. One wrong answer, your whole family's gone. Everything will collapse from your technology, using your phones. They will shut the country down. You won't be able to do anything in the midst of a civil war. There's no internet. There's no nothing. There's no light. You won't be able to do everything runs off technology. And once they put that restriction on there during the Civil War, because that's how it's going to start attack everything that's dealing with technology, tech and stuff like that. That's how the world moves. That's how the country functions. We will see a much more dangerous America. Roads to be blocked off, tanks roaming the streets, soldiers everywhere. Some soldiers would defect and go to whatever side they support. Some soldiers will defend the people against either or. But having military personnel in our everyday lives that we're not used to roaming the streets, asking you which side are you on, is a very scary thing, guys. This is the beginning of the American Civil War that the elites are playing. China and Russia sitting in the back, and the rest of the world is watching to see how these things play out. Best believe everybody knows what's going on here in America. It's no secret. People are seeing the fall of America. There will be a lot of protesting, a lot of executing, a lot of political people being jailed, all for the sake of America changing. The next 20 to 30 years of America will be completely different. Make it a great day, guys. Enjoy your 4th. And this is Roberto Conspiracy Files checking out. Be safe.